There are moments in life when we stand still, holding the pieces of something we thought would last forever. We look at what slipped away, people, dreams, promises, and we wonder why life would take what we cherished so deeply. But what if I told you that loss is not life's cruelty, but its quiet compassion? What if everything that left you was simply clearing a path for something truer, stronger, and far more aligned with who you are becoming? Today, I want to speak to the part of your soul that still aches for what is gone and remind you that you are not diminished by what you've lost. You are being prepared, gently, powerfully, purposefully, for a future that was never meant to be built on what could not stay. Let us walk together into that truth. 2. Loss is not a punishment. It is a redirection toward your destiny. Though the heart may tremble when something familiar slips away, it is never an act of cruelty from life. It is a gentle reshaping, a necessary clearing, a movement of unseen hands guiding you toward a place your spirit has not yet touched. When something leaves your world, it is not the universe turning cold. It is the universe turning you toward the warmth of what you truly deserve. You may not see it in the moment, but every loss carries wisdom, and every ending walks beside a beginning waiting to bloom. There are times when we cling to situations simply because they are known, not because they are right for us. We hold on to people out of habit, to dreams out of fear, to comfort out of uncertainty. Yet destiny does not grow in stagnant soil. When something is no longer meant for your path, it loosens its hold, not to break you, but to liberate you. Loss feels sharp because it cuts away what could not travel with you into a higher chapter. What you mistake for punishment is often the very protection that keeps you aligned with what is meant to flourish in your life. Life has a rhythm, and its rhythm is wiser than our plans. The doors that close are often closing for your sake, even if the echo of their shutting feels like a wound. But if you look closely, you will notice that every closed door stops you from wandering down a hallway where your light would be dimmed, your growth stunted, your worth forgotten. Destiny demands room, and sometimes room must be made by removing what drains your spirit, even if that removal feels like a loss. You are being guided, even in moments when the path feels unclear. You may feel stripped, but what is being stripped away are the layers that hid your strength. You may feel emptied, but what is being emptied are spaces long filled with things that could not nurture your future. Loss changes you, not to weaken you, but to reveal who you were always meant to be. The pain you feel is not a sign of punishment, it is a sign of transformation. It is life carving away what no longer mirrors your purpose. When you rise again, and you will see that the things you thought you needed would have only held you back. You will discover that the absence you mourned became the very room your blessings needed to enter. You will realize that if something was meant for your future, it would have stayed, and if it left, it was never meant to shape the chapters that are coming. So trust the redirection. Trust the gentle turning of life's hands. Trust that you are being led toward a destiny crafted with intention and love. One day, you will look back and understand that every loss was a step toward the life waiting to welcome you, the life that would never require you to lose yourself to keep it. What slips from your hands may be making room for something far greater, though in the moment it may feel as if the universe has taken more than it has ever given. We often grip tightly to what is familiar, believing that if we just hold on a little longer, everything will make sense. But life, in its quiet wisdom, sometimes pries our fingers open, not to leave us empty, but to free us from what was too small for the future waiting ahead. What falls away is not always a loss. Sometimes it is the clearing of space your blessings have been patiently waiting for, unable to enter as long as your hands were full of what was never meant to stay. There is a tender ache when something slips through your grasp, especially when your heart has wrapped itself around it. But consider that what falls away often does so because it can no longer grow with you. There are dreams we outgrow, relationships that exhaust instead of uplift, habits that drain rather than strengthen. When these things begin to slip, it is not a sign of failure, but a sign of evolution. You are changing, rising, expanding into a version of yourself that requires more room, more light, more truth than the past could provide. Life does not take without purpose. It transforms, redirects, and prepares. Think of the seasons, how the trees release their leaves, not out of despair, but out of trust. They do not question the falling. They understand that what drops today makes space for what will bloom tomorrow. You too are a living season. What leaves your life is often meant to make space for deeper love, clearer purpose, and stronger peace. The slipping is not the end, it is the beginning of who you are becoming. Your hands, once full of what was no longer aligned with your journey, are now open to receive what will nourish your future. There is a courage required in letting go, especially when you don't yet see what is coming next. But blessings rarely arrive in crowded spaces. Miracles rarely enter where doubt and fear still reside. Life creates openings in the most unexpected ways, removing what cannot walk with you into the next chapter so that something greater can find its way to you. Trust that what is meant for you will never slip away. Trust that what slips away was never meant to limit your future. One day, you will look back at what you thought was the breaking point and realize it was the turning point. You will see how life replaced what drained your spirit with what restored it. You will understand that your hands needed to be empty before they could be filled with the abundance meant for your destiny. So let what slips, slip. Let what leaves, leave. What is coming is greater than what you lost, and your future is far too grand to be built upon what was never meant to stay. Your spirit grows stronger every time life removes what was weakening you, even when you do not yet recognize the strength being shaped inside you. There are moments when you feel stripped, moments when you feel as though something vital has been taken from your grasp. But with time, you come to see that what left was not the foundation of your strength. It was the weight holding it down. Life has a way of uncovering your power by peeling away the layers that were dimming your light. What you think is loss is often liberation, disguised in a form that the heart learns to understand only after the storm has passed. There are people, habits, fears, and memories that cling to you so tightly that you begin to mistake them for parts of your identity. But anything that weakens your spirit was never meant to be woven into the fabric of who you are becoming. When life removes these things, sometimes gently, sometimes abruptly, it is not being cruel. It is making room for the strength you forgot existed within you. Your spirit is like a flame. It flickers under pressure, but when the winds blow away what stifles it, that same flame rises taller, brighter, fiercer than before. Think of the times you thought you would break, the days when someone walked away, when a dream crumbled, when your trust felt betrayed. In those moments, it felt like life was chipping pieces off your soul. But look at you now. You are still standing, still breathing, still growing. And with every step forward, you have become more resilient. Your heart learned to love with more wisdom. Your mind learned to see with more clarity. Your soul learned to hold peace even in uncertainty. That is not weakness. That is strength earned through fire. We often believe that strength is something we build only by adding more courage, more confidence, more determination. But true strength sometimes arrives through subtraction. When fear is removed, courage appears. When doubt fades, clarity rises. When toxic connections dissolve, your peace has space to breathe again. Life does not always add to you. Sometimes it strengthens you by taking away what was quietly eroding your spirit. Every experience that stripped away something that weakened you also revealed a deeper capacity within you. You have survived storms that would have shattered a softer spirit. You have walked through darkness and found your own light. You have been bent but never broken. And each time life removed something that drained your energy or dimmed your joy, you emerged more aligned with your purpose and more rooted in your truth. That is the quiet miracle of loss. It doesn't just take, it builds. So trust the process of removal. Trust that anything taken from you was not meant to stand in the way of your becoming. Trust that your spirit, freed from what weakens it, will rise into its fullest power. What leaves may hurt, but what remains and what grows from that space is the unshakable strength that was always waiting within you. Separation is often the universe's way of clearing the path ahead, even though it rarely feels that way in the moment. When someone or something drifts away from your life, the heart can interpret that distance as rejection, abandonment, or failure. But beneath the ache is a deeper truth. Not every presence is meant to travel with you into the next chapter. Sometimes life gently unthreads you from what would have tangled your future. What feels like loss is often a divine rearranging, a quiet reshaping of your path so that you do not stumble over what was never meant to guide your steps forward. There are seasons when you walk with people who feel central to your world, yet the timing of your journeys shifts. The paths that once ran parallel begin to bend in different directions. You may try to hold on, stretching yourself thin to keep a bond that no longer aligns with your growth. But life knows when a connection has served its purpose. It knows when the lesson has been learned, when the healing has begun, when the chapter has reached its final sentence. Separation comes not to wound you, but to free you from trying to fit your soul into places it has outgrown. You see, the universe listens to the whispers of your spirit long before you speak them aloud. It understands what will nourish you, what will uplift you, what will strengthen your future. And when something in your present begins to block that unfolding, even gently, even unknowingly, life steps in. It removes, redirects, and releases. Not because you are undeserving, but because you are destined for something larger than your current attachments can hold. Separation does not steal from you. It creates sacred space for alignment. Think of how rivers carve new paths when obstacles stand in their way. The water does not fight the stone. It simply shifts, trusting that the flow knows where it must go. In the same way, life shifts you away from what would hinder your journey. A job ends so your talent can breathe elsewhere. A relationship dissolves so your heart can learn its worth. A door closes so you will knock on the one built specifically for you. These separations are not coincidences. They are the choreography of a universe committed to guiding you toward your truest self. The pain you feel during separation is not proof that you are losing something essential. It is proof that you are being stretched into growth, into clarity, into readiness. In time, you come to see that the ones who left were not meant to walk with you into the horizon you are moving toward. They belong to an earlier chapter, to a different version of you. And when life asks you to release them, it is asking you to honor your own evolution. One day, the path ahead will reveal why the separation was necessary. You will see how the space it created allowed new blessings to enter, blessings that could not coexist with what you were trying so hard to keep. You will understand that the universe was not taking from you. It was guiding you. It was protecting you. It was preparing you for the wide, open road waiting just beyond the bend. Not everything that leaves you is meant to travel into your future, though the heart often tries to carry what was only meant to be temporary. We hold on to memories, to people, to dreams that once made sense, hoping they will find a place in the chapters still unwritten. But life has a rhythm that moves with purpose. And when something slips away, it is not always a tragedy. It is often a quiet truth unfolding. Some things belong to the version of you that existed yesterday, not the one rising today. When they leave, they are simply honoring the boundaries of time, growth, and destiny. There are relationships that feel warm for a season, but cool as you evolve. There are dreams you once chased that no longer spark your soul. There are habits, comforts, and identities you outgrow without even recognizing the moment of change. When these things fade, it can be tempting to chase them, to pull them back into your orbit, to believe that their departure is a mistake. But what leaves you often does so because it cannot survive in the atmosphere of your becoming. Your growth becomes a tide, and anything that cannot rise with it gently drifts away. Life is wise enough to remove what does not align with your future, even when you are not ready to let go. You might look back and wonder why someone you trusted walked away, why an opportunity dissolved, why a path closed just when you thought it was opening. But if you look closely, you will see that what left was not meant to carry the weight of the person you are becoming. It may have been beautiful, meaningful, or comforting, but not everything beautiful is meant to be permanent. Some blessings arrive only to teach you, shape you, and strengthen you before stepping aside. In the quiet moments, when you sit with yourself and reflect on the things that have fallen away, you begin to understand that loss does not always equal lack. Sometimes it means release. It means life is lifting from your shoulders what was too heavy for you to carry into the next stage. It means the story is turning, and characters who were meant for earlier pages must step aside so that the next chapter can introduce new ones. What leaves creates space. Space for opportunity, for healing, for alignment, for people who reflect the version of you that is emerging. You are not meant to drag old pain, old patterns, or old attachments into your future. You were never designed to carry every piece of your past into tomorrow. The soul becomes cluttered when we hold on to what no longer honors our growth. And so life, with its gentle nudges and its firm lessons, helps you release what cannot stay. The departure is not a rejection of your worth, it is a recognition of your destination. One day you will look back with clarity and see that the things that left were never meant to walk beside you into the light you were growing toward. You will bless their presence, bless their departure, and bless the space they created. For in that space, your future will take root, stronger, brighter, and completely aligned with who you are destined to be.